Deep in the remote interior of Sarawak, Malaysia, there's a really powerful story of transformation. It's the journey of the psychiatric department at Hospital Sri Aman, a story about moving from the shadows of neglect right into the light of dignity. This is a story about resilience, about compassion, and about the unwavering belief that every single person deserves a chance to heal.
And really, this idea is the engine behind everything we're talking about today. It's this profound reminder that mental health care isn't some kind of luxury, but an absolute lifeline for those who have, for too long, been forgotten.
So, where does this story even begin? Well, it starts back in a colonial era, a time when mental illness was just a whispered secret, completely shrouded in cultural silence. Patients weren't really seen as people who needed healing. Instead, they were treated like burdens to be hidden away, totally isolated from their families and from the world.
And you can really see that massive shift in thinking right here. On one side, you have the old custodial model, which was all about stigma, confinement, and silence. But then, a totally new vision started to emerge in Sri Aman, what we now call the recovery model, built on these incredible pillars of dignity, community, and hope.
Okay, so how do you actually build a system based on hope? Well, like any good structure, you need a solid foundation. For Sri Aman, that foundation was the law, a legal blueprint for a much more humane and ethical way of providing care.
This timeline really maps out that legal journey. You can see this huge pivotal shift from the completely outdated 1952 Lunatic Ordinance to the landmark Mental Health Act of 2001. So when Hospital Sri Aman was officially gazetted in 2010, it was so much more than just a formality. It was a declaration of rights, a legal mandate to protect the vulnerable.
So, with this new legal framework in place, the department built a true sanctuary of care. But, the truest test of its resilience, well, it was still on the horizon, an unexpected challenge that would push its values right to the absolute limit.
And this is really at the heart of their story. Because a system's true strength isn't revealed when things are easy, right? It's revealed in how it responds to a crisis. And their response was, frankly, extraordinary. In 2023, when some early structural signs started to appear in the old ward, the team acted decisively. They prioritized human life above everything else, vacating the facility to ensure the absolute safety of their patients and staff. Then, working around the clock, they transformed an interim space into a new sanctuary of care. It sent such a clear message: patient dignity is simply non-negotiable.
This really powerful quote from the hospital's acting director just captures the spirit of their response perfectly. What could have been a devastating setback actually became a catalyst for renewal. This proactive approach didn't just protect patients, it showed the team's unwavering commitment to building a better future.
And that commitment, it paved the way for a whole new dawn. So now the story turns from overcoming a crisis to building a permanent, much brighter future for mental health care, not just for the hospital, but for the entire region.
And all that resilience paid off. A 30 million ringgit investment was secured, approved by the Sarawak Development Agency. And let's be clear, this isn't just funding for a new building. It's a state-level commitment to creating a permanent home for hope and healing.
So why is this so important? Well, because investing in mental health is one of the best investments we can make in our communities. Global evidence shows us that for every 1 ringgit spent, you get about a 4 ringgit return in productivity and reduced healthcare costs and in creating stronger, more resilient societies. It really is an investment in our collective future. Ultimately, when you look back at the whole story of Sri Aman, it really embodies this simple but incredibly profound truth. Through all those decades of silence, the legal battles, and those moments of crisis, it was the unwavering hope of the staff, the patients, and the community that fueled this incredible journey.
And so, the journey of this one hospital leaves us all with a question to think about. Sri Aman's story teaches us that within our greatest challenges, we can find the seeds of our greatest transformations. The question isn't whether we can create change, but whether we're brave enough to begin.